Aston Martin is one of those teams looking to be the big three in the upcoming seasons. 2023 will be a huge season for Aston Martin, and a big one at that. A lot of news has came out about Aston Martin wanting to improve the team, build up on their car, build that momentum that they had from the 2022 season, and a lot of valuable news has came out talking about the Aston Martin team and what their aspirations look like and what they're doing to actually get themselves above the big three teams in Formula One. Specifically talking, one of the latest things that has came out and that they've spoken about multiple times over and over again and they're adamant on. In the past year, Racing Point and really the Aston Martin of 2022 and 2021 was kind of looked like a copied version of other cars. They are purposeful in saying, and Dan Fallows specifically says, we cannot be replicating the big three teams to actually achieve the car that will beat the big three. They want their own design concept with it looking different than the other three team cars. Specifically speaking, they were the only team on the grid that actually had a front wing that wasn't made like all the other teams. It was something that made the car extremely draggy, and it lacked a lot of pace in the straights because of the way that the front wing was designed. A big thing that Dan Fallows and Eric Blandon are working on together is improving the front wing, but as well as the whole chassis as a whole, because it was lacking that straight line speed. Aston Martin has said that there are over hundreds of different ways that they can technically improve from the 2022 season, which is a big deal. And considering the team is being very open to speaking about how the 2022 season went and what they can improve on, it seems that they are finding a lot better paths on the car, and it could really make them a threat for the 2023 season, which I think will happen. Fallows is one of the key guys obviously developing the team, but another person that was brought in, which is Fernando Alonso, will be a big contributor to improving the car and giving detail on where the car needs to be improved. While it might be harsh criticism, it is criticism that Aston Martin needs, and Fernando will definitely bring that constructive criticism that they need. Even the FIA principal himself, Ben Sulayem, talks about Aston Martin having the potential to become race winners in Formula One. Now, him and Fernando have both said that within the next couple to 3 years could be the race winning car really for them. They could have some wins within the coming years. I could definitely see them being like the Red Bull when they actually had that Aston Martin logo on the back of it. Kind of like that. They were within that like top three range. They were always pretty close, and they could actually pick off a win or two if the top teams were fighting and didn't end up making it to the end. With some good luck, obviously, involved. He talks about the backing being there for the team, how Lawrence Stroll's ambitions are, bringing Dan Fallows, really just having Fernando Alonso to even improve Lance Stroll as a whole. Everything is really working well for that Aston Martin team, while the development for the building that everything is going to be developed into is coming along very well as well. The F1 Chief Technical Officer at Aston Martin actually says they are damn sure they can bring Fernando Alonso a race-winning car and give him the tools to work with to actually have that race-winning car. He speaks about in an article that Alonso has almost gone a decade without winning, which is the truth. He had a podium in 2021. 2022 had a couple of its ups, like being on front row in Canada, a couple of other performances. Maybe he could have outperformed the car in Australia if it wasn't for the hydraulic failure, and probably other instances that ended up happening because the Alpine was such a failure in reliability. Aston Martin talks about the team already developing the wheel towards Fernando's liking, which was a problem with Alpine in the beginning of the season last year. Automatically, they fixed the wheel, made it to how Alonso likes the wheel, so he can perform the car as best as possible. Upgrades are coming in left and right towards the 2023 AMR 23. It is the car that I think has the highest potential, is talked about the most, and really every chief officer that works there has talked about the car being the highest potential car there because it will be their own concept and they are going with something different, meaning they must have found something that works better than the top three teams. Even Sergio Perez in an interview, who still speaks with some of the guys from Racing Point, who are now Aston Martin engineers, talks about the car actually being very well developed, and he believes they will upgrade big time in comparison to what their 2022 season is. Do you think it's possible for Aston Martin to make a huge comeback in 2023? I sure well do. I think that they will have a great car in 23 and will bring Fernando Alonso that maybe race-winning car, maybe a couple wins in 2023. Let me know your thoughts down below. Please leave a like, subscribe. It would mean the world, and peace.